Hello everyone, T-Man978. I'm having one of my moments where I just want to open a thing. Marvel Legends Series Maximum Series Deadpool with that green poopy thing. But here's this artwork right here. Well, actually this product shot. Cool. The packaging feels better than Spider-Man, which definitely didn't feel expensive. I love this pose right here. I love that he can actually get into that pose. But yeah, getting it in hand, seeing this box looking, it's not empty, but yeah, the price that it costs, I don't know, it doesn't look like that. And looking at his face, I'm definitely wishing instead of him, it came with a surprise looking face. Here's Deadpool and Dupe out of packaging with all the accessories. I'm going to go over the accessories very, very briefly and then get into the big ugly elephant. Let's start here. Deadpool comes with what you expect. 2 pistols at least, the 2 katanas and a hunting knife. But he also comes with an AR, some type of cartoony comic style shotgun. All of these come with blast effects, a bigger rifle that looks just like something that comes with a G.I. Joe Classified Series figure, but it's not. Stick of lit dynamite, chimichanga, 4 sets of additional hands besides the fist. I do wish that it came with some like martial arts or just gestury hands. I always show this demonstration and now I'm choosing then where the hand is just like out like that. That would have been nice for posing and whatnot. You get Dupe here, who I'll go into a little bit more detail, and a different face style. The elephant that I was talking about is the price of this set. It retails at $49.99, and now that they're doing like tariff surcharge, you might, I believe on Hasbro Pulse it's $57.99, and at places like GameStop and somewhere and Amazon, surprisingly, it was like $62, $62.99. So yeah, that's a lot compared to what Hasbro typically releases. Now, a perfect normal release would have something like this. You get the figure, it has certain things already on the body like holsters and whatnot. These are permanent. And then you would get the signature accessories, like the hands you need to hold those accessories and maybe some fists and the head. Or let's be realistic, it probably wouldn't come with the fist. It would just come with these hands and an extra head, and that would be like $24.99, but they recently went up to $27.99. Now you have to decide if you want this set. Are these things right here worth another $25 or $30 depending on where you're buying it from? Or definitely if you didn't pre-order. I pre-ordered and got the $50 price, but as soon as it came out, price went up. Now I do have to admit the figure itself is far superior to anything that they usually put out, so I do have to put that into effect. But this just feels like the natural progression to a certain extent, but we'll get into that more. To get Dupe out of the way, Dupe is something I've seen in the background while looking at Marvel stuff, but I had no clue what it is and didn't really care, to be honest with you. He is apparently a member of X Factor and other X teams, and I watched Comic Explained so I could see more detail or more information, and I was still lost and confused because he just seems like a straight up cartoon character that lives in a more serious Marvel universe, and he could do all types of Toon Force stuff like put his arms behind his back and manifest whatever item. And on Comics Explained, the dude said that he was fighting Thor threw his hammer at him. He ingested the hammer and threw like hundreds more hammers at him. So It almost seems like he can do whatever. But besides this post, the arm is on 2 points of articulation. So they can do that and this. Yeah, it is completely just a prop. It was a miracle I could do that thumbnail picture, getting him to hold on to the ram cycle. It's fully painted. It's made out of like almost completely solid plastic, it feels like. But yeah, I wish instead of him, we got several other head sculpts like Deadpool with surprised eyes or some other expressions. I would have much rather that, but back in the day, Deadpool came with this guy, so they decided to do it again. Before I get fully into Deadpool, here's a close-up on this gun. This has a bipod, but it does not function. This is the same thing as a bipod, but it does not function. This is the one that looks like the G.I. Joe Classified series gun. But as you can see, the stock is all the way back here. The trigger is back there. They're completely different guns, and this bipod does function, but they are very, very similar. But I want to make sure that you saw that they're different, because I definitely thought this was a Classified series gun before I purchased this. But let's get to Deadpool. Now, this is my opinion. The first Maximum series figure was Spider-Man. Spider-Man, honestly, to me, felt like the natural progression of what Marvel Legends should eventually be right now. It was exciting, but it just felt like that's what it's supposed to be. The Hulk was a mishmash of new parts in engineering, but it had the lower body was pretty much an old figure. This one right here feels like what they really were trying to accomplish. Like, it's called Maximum series, and I'm thinking maximum effort. I feel like they definitely went out of their way for this one. Like, all the lines, all of this is personalized to Deadpool. Like, you can't use this body for anybody else, not without touching it up. Like, all of this is sculpted in, even on the neck. And look at the neck. I'm going to go into it when I get to the articulation, but that is innovation that I hope G.I. Joe goes into, since they insist on giving them horrible upper neck articulation. But the way this is designed, it just looks a step up, sculpt wise and engineering. You'll see the articulation is better than anything that they've put out, and I really like it. It pretty much does whatever I want. These sword holsters are like attached permanently to the back. I think it's sculpted in such a way where it wouldn't even look right if you take that off. And they actually have real straps. Typically, no, I think they have one figure where you could put the straps on and then plug the gun in. So I'm not even gonna give them that much credit, but all the rest of this looks nice and looks good. Pouches have a dab of paint. I could be seeing things, but almost, I think it's just the buttons are painted. It almost looks like it has a wash, but I think it's the sculpting, the way it's sculpted, the light makes it look like there's shadow on it. But really, really nice. Only thing I can really complain about quality wise is the shoulder joints. This direction, super tight on both. I'm gonna have to put some shock oil on there to get that loosened. And when I really, really zoom in, and some of this is probably me just articulating, the sculpting right there, the way that came together, it looks scriptish on both sides. Especially, it's gonna look even worse on camera because I'm so zoomed in. With regular, normal human eyes, you probably wouldn't see that with that much detail. But yeah, those are my problems. That and how tight the shoulders are. But Everything else I've been loving. I could not read this with my naked eye, so I wanted to zoom in on that. Let's just look at the detail on this while we're here. And some other stuff, like they painted the stock on this rifle. These guns right here, they're very plasticky looking. And if you really look at it, if you're super duper anal, these swords are plasticky as well. It hasn't bugged me. A sword and a knife. And I guess there's one more thing to show off. I've been waiting to see this zoomed in, but his unmasked face, which, let's lower that. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, because this did look a little bit weird. I mean, it looks like he's smiling, but his face almost looks like it's more rotting than his skin being ladled with cancer. So yeah, but it still works, especially from a distance. Like, I've been having fun posing him around. So yeah, I guess he does have like it's like a bloody look plus just bumps on the face, but it looks like he has no lips. I don't know if that may be accurate to the comics. I didn't go into it, but these weapons are made out of a more rigid material instead of gummy. The guns, this one I do have to admit that it is a little bit more gummy. I did have to heat this up because it might be my own fault because I had it in my backpack in the sandwich bag. Now we're in a different setting because I'm a bonehead and I pushed pause and I was just talking to a paused phone. But articulation, really good. The head, just on the ball alone, it's on a dumbbell joint actually. It can look down that much with just the ball and look up that much with just the dumbbell at the top. That's a lot already. He has a ball at the base. So he can, of course, rotate, and of course, with the ball at the base, you get a lot of tilt. You get even more down. And that cutout in the back right here helps you get a little bit more up than you would typically get. So he is great with neck articulation. The shoulders go up more than 90 with just that hinge. You see this up there, but it doesn't look, maybe because it's black, it doesn't look as bad as that Spider-Man. You get butterfly joint that goes back a lot, and then you get this cut right here with these floating pieces. So let me try to shift that hinge down, and then I should be able to bring the arm in a bit, way more than you would normally get. Spider-Man can do more than that, but we can, if you try, get the hands directly in front of each other. So that's good. Now this motion right here, extremely tight. It's starting to get looser for me, which is good. You get this bicep swivel. Because this right here on my figure, it moves so tight, I am scared about this, especially on this arm. Like twisting this, it bumps right there because his triceps are so huge. I would definitely move that out before trying to rotate it, because the actual peg feels a little bit gummy. I don't know if you have to worry, but I worry. So be careful. This works like that. All the hands are on vertical hinges besides the two fists and the thumbs up hand and the pieced hand. They're on horizontal hinges. The upper diaphragm is good. Of course, we get side to side, rotate and whatnot. It goes back that much, comes forward that much, like by itself. But then with the inverted ab crunch, it goes back that much and can come forward. Unfortunately, like it can go forward that much, which is a lot, but it kind of fights you. But you're still good right there. That's a lot of ab crunch, especially with the ability to look down. He can do comedic poses. And then He can kick forward slightly, a hair more than 90, back out to the side that much. And with that hair more than 90 plus this at the same time, that's a high kick you can do. Thigh rotation, pinless double knee. Let me bend it all the way. The upper knee joint bends way looser than the lower knee. So if you want to use the lower knee, you'll definitely have to hold this into place while you move this because it's tighter. Thigh swivel, shin swivel. The feet kick back as per normal on every Hasbro figure. But what I like the way they sculpted this goes right over that. No problem. Thank you, G.I. Joe team. Ankle pivot. The bottom of the boots look like this, and you do have a toe joint. The toe joint, it works at holding him up. You'll see I put him in more poses throughout this video, just standing on the toe. And this belt, if I didn't go into it, it is a floaty piece, so that can adjust. Maybe if I move this down like that, let's see about that ab crunch. Nah, it gets to about there and then it wants to go back. I guess they didn't sculpt, they didn't shave something down in there, and that's what's causing that, because they wanted him to have a tight, nice look. But let's get on with the rest of this video. Here he is all geared up, and it's never necessary, but I wanted to show him unsupported, standing up on a toe joint. But he does have stand ports in the feet, if you want that. Like, getting them stand up on a surface that's typically uneven is always difficult. That's why I've been having like a flat, clear sheet of plastic on my display now, so that I can make sure that everything's flat instead of this cardboard. But I've been spinning them around and he's still standing up, so that's good. Alright, here goes one of my accessories pose parade, where I'm going to be showing him with the accessories doing different stuff. This pose right here is also completely unsupported, just on his toe back there. As you can see, here's this situation right here. Grabbing the swords, and I do hope for one day where I guess the next innovation they need is universal wrist, so that the wrist can bend any direction you need, because right now these vertical hinges aren't super duper helpful for this pose. Holding the swords, this might be accurate, but I do wish the swords were a little bit longer. They definitely feel short in person. I don't know, you gotta see it in person. Pointing hands, and now that I've messed with him again, he does have the butterfly joints, or the cutout in the chest where the butterfly joints can come in more, so he can get the arm across the body. But his body is very much a generic suited body. There is no sculpting at all. All of that is painted on. One thing I haven't mentioned yet, these blast effects that they came with, the guns, the regular pistols don't have blast ports, which is shocking since they went out of their way to give us 3 different blast effects for the other guns. But here he is holding this. I had him holding the shotgun earlier. Now the hands seem to be made out of a more pliable material than normal. They're very easy to remove out of the sockets, and they seem to go back into shape after you do something like this better than normal. Like, I could visibly see the hand going back into the position. So if that's a new innovation, thank you for that as well, because I hate having to heat up hands to put them back. But it just went right back into shape. I don't know what they're made out of. Here he is next to the people I've had out here already. Here's this. Here's this. And Tangerine is canonically supposed to be over 6 feet tall. Here's the maximum amount of effort I want to put into this video. That's that. You probably own some of the things I showed. I said a lot of things about this thing throughout the video. I hope you were paying attention, because it's not going to be a full recap right now. But overall, I love this figure. I really, really like it. Only real issues is whatever I mentioned, and of course the price. Messing with it more during this video, doing the poses, the ankles are a little bit more loose than I would like. It's like the plastic quality feels good, but some things do feel a little bit soft here or there. Like I said, the hands are softer, which is good, but I think I almost feel like the ankles might be made out of that same material, which isn't too great. But you saw me getting him to stand up, so all of this is just moot really. But as far as maximum series, as far as the name, I do feel like this is probably one of, if not the best Hasbro made 6-inch action figure, because it just does whatever I want, almost import level, and the sculpting and the paint that's on it is really good. So yeah, only thing more I could want as far as articulation is universal wrist, like I mentioned, because it makes things way easier when posing. But I haven't been having too much of a problem getting him to do whatever, so there you are with that. Thank you for watching this. Until next time, T-Man978 out of here. Here's a Maisto 1/12 scale motorcycle. Click the videos, click the videos, baby, click the videos. You should really click